Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. We want to remember our Commissioner Joel in prayers and all those others that are affected by COVID right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the roll call. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Queenie Bars.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks.
Here.
Trustee Brent McWhirter.
Here.
Trustee Janice Bryan.
Here.
Trustee Betsy Harrison. Trustee Ed Hallam.
Here.
Trustee Cindy Simpson.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks and a second by Trustee Brent McWhirter to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of December 8th and December 22nd, 2021, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 8th and December 22nd of 2021. Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Janice Bryant and a second by Trustee Cindy Simpson to approve the minutes of December 8th and December 22nd, 2021 as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is audience business, and we have Tim Hunter signed up. So Tim, if you would come and give your name and state your address.
Tim Hunter, 10686 Road 41.2. In order for me to state your time frame for public participation, actually, I'll open that for you. This is mostly for your education. I don't know how many of you are aware of the development costs that the town puts on for doing things within the town. We're just finishing up, we're starting our last house in this Grand Avenue subdivision. And this is a kind of a synopsis of where we are. If you want to keep development going on in town, you might want to review these kind of costs. I have a few issues for our particular development that the town, on like the street impact fees, I've had contentions with, and I've talked to Heather about these, and her hands are tied on some of this stuff. But originally in the town estimate, they had exempted me because there was existing accesses, yet for each of these 4 lots, we've had to pay $1,800 for road impact fees, even though 3 of those are on a state highway, and I had to prove through CDOT that we were reducing impacts on the road rather than increasing impacts. I should have prefaced this because I do believe development needs to pay for itself. This is not any slight against the town. I just think some of the fees and some of the costs are making it hard for people to come in and do this kind of development. If you look at, just in summary, it's cost our group $37,487 per lot to accommodate the town's recommendations and before we can ever put a shovel in the ground to do any building. There's no way to do any kind of affordable housing with those kind of prices, and land prices what they are, and materials prices what they are. And this is just to give the town some awareness of what it takes to do development within the town of Mancos. And I tried to summarize. If you have questions on it, please give me a call. I know I'm short on time here. I've go over some of these details that I've made notes on, but I hope it's fairly self-explanatory.
Okay. All right, we will look into this. More thank you for presenting it to us, the information. Do you have anything else you want to?
No, like I say, I have some issues with particularly the road impact fees, and that, we put in all this infrastructure and then we still have to pay the tap fee I don't have a problem with, but then the additional installation fees, whenever we've provided most of the infrastructure for that already, just as, I'm not saying it's onerous, but it's questionable in my book to have to pay on top of those kinds of things. Plus, we basically donated all that infrastructure to the town. We still have to pay to connect to the infrastructure we put in place. Those are my general beefs.
Okay.
So, like I say, Heather's worked marvelously with us. Her hands are tied on some of this. These are town board issues. And so that's why I wanted to kind of bring it to your attention.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Next on the agenda is announcements.
Sorry, announcements. Nomination petitions are available for pickup. We do have 3 seats up for election at the April 5th, 2022 election. So nomination packets are available at the front desk. They are due back to us by 5 p.m. on January 24th. And we are having an election regardless of how many petitions we get back. We just have to authorize a ballot question with regard to policy of bills and claims. So we will have an election regardless, but we are encouraging people to pick up packets and run for a seat on the board. We are looking for an economic development coordinator. Our current economic development coordinator, her last day is January 31st. She'll be going to Cortez to fulfill that role over there. So if anybody knows of anyone, it's published on the website. I published it in the paper and also sent it to CML and the Economic Development Council of Colorado and Region 9. So encourage people to review our website and if they're interested to submit the information. That's all I have for right now. Terry, do you have anything?
Our water plant upgrade is finally starting to take shape. Enough supplies have come in. It's looking like something finally.
Supply chain is tightening, huh?
All this water.
Oh, God.
First it was lumber, then it was iron, then it was the rough trusses. Yeah, it's not good.
There's nothing that isn't impacted.
I understand you've had some water issues, water main issues?
Almost a couple.
Just a couple?
It's winter time. It's one of the crappiest time. Of course, that's when it happens.
The first one was right in front of the
Motel?
motel. Yeah, it was dumping 100,000 gallons in 24 hours.
Ooh,
Wow. It was a 6-inch main split.
wow.
But other than that, almost.
Little stuff, huh? Okay. Justin, do you have anything?
For the new marshal's shop, we're trying to find somewhere to buy it. We're running into issues. We reached out as far as Denver, going into New Mexico, trying to locate a truck in the marshal's office this year. It's just gonna depend on ordering and availability and the company to get it done. Hopefully we'll have it before the new year. We'll see.
Is Brad back in his truck or is he still in?
His is still always been drivable. We're hoping to get it finally into the shop here within the next couple of weeks.
I think he likes driving the car.
He does.
He does. I asked him one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked him, I said, "Well, where's your truck?" And he says, "Oh, I like this thing." So, yeah. Okay.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah, Blues Brothers, yeah. And you get him and David together and yeah. Okay. Any other announcements by any of the board members? Okay. All right, moving right along is the treasurer's report for December bills and claims. Does anybody have any questions?
I just had, everything looks like normal, but there was just the one, it was, the Alt Space Telluride, the co-worker project. Who is that?
That's the office share thing that you were just.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask. So was that somebody came in and consulted with us or something?
Yes,
about
we
that?
did some Zoom meetings consulting with them.
Okay, so that was the only one that, I mean, everything else looked just like every other month, but that one wasn't. So, okay, good. Glad that's moving forward.
You will see an invoice to them every month between now and June, that is selected consultant on.
Oh, that's who we selected. Okay, all right.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the building claims as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Cindy Simpson and a second by trustee Brent McWhirter and Janice Bryant to accept the treasurer's bills for December as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Next on the agenda is committee reports, Region 9. Denise?
Yeah, I could just do quick. The big meeting is at the end of this month, but just for in December, Region 9 received a $25,000 grant from the Colorado Housing Finance Authority, and this is just going to be for a regional feasibility study. So there'll be more coming out on that, what they find out with that study. They also just reviewed, they received 24 business inquiries and 3 were from Montezuma County. And now that we are this enterprise zone, they had 50 questions and inquiries and 15 were from Montezuma County. Also, what's going on with them, there is a Southwest Council of Governments, and that Council of Governments they're going to combine with Region 9. So this is going to take a process maybe until 2023, and until then, each board, they each have boards, and so their boards will stay the same, and they're going to work out how to try to combine this and how to have a director and so on under that. So more will come out of that. Region 9 did, it was very, very interesting. They had their Southwest Economic Outlook Forum, and it would be great if we could get Laura Marchino here to talk about this and invite the commissioners and people in the region, because it's all about what the outlook here. And I just have to tell you is we're aging and we need young people. It's all about aging, and they discussed the workforce, economy, housing, public finance, all of that was in this. Now, I have, she did send out like the slides to this workshop, so I don't know if that could be something we could just, if she can't come and do like a brief follow-up, we could just send to everyone, because these statistics are just, yeah, and so other than that, if we can't get her here, it'd be great if you guys could just look at these slides, because they were, it's very interesting how moving forward our economy's looking. Just one little piece is the average age in our area is 46. And I think Mancos, if I heard her right, is 34 years of age. So,
We're on the other side.
yeah, I'm feeling a little old myself. So that's it. And I'll have more after the meeting at the end of the month.
Okay, good, thank you. CDOT.
Unfortunately, I had a conflict and couldn't attend. Next meeting will be February.
Okay. And so our Montezuma County Commissioners update, we're going to put you guys on the spot and let you talk to us. So we will let you go to the podium so we can all hear you. And
First of all, I want to back up to what Trustee Brian stated. I was actually at that Southwest Economic Outlook also, and she's absolutely correct. You know, we've all asked the question of where did all the workforce go? You know, in 2019, they were great. 2020, COVID hit, and in 2022, we can't find them. nobody can find any help, which is interesting to me because I never really thought about it until I saw those slides. But people our age, my age, maybe not some of you, but have all decided to either leave the workforce, quit, retire, or just no longer have to have a job. And she's absolutely correct that the backfill of the youth is not coming up. There are not enough children being born for the baby boomers that are exiting basically the market. And that's just all statistical data. It was actually if you do have that slideshow, send it out to them because it's
really good.
very interesting. And just to kind of update you, Mr. Brooks, the TPR, we're just going to basically start reviewing the plan, the 10-year plan, everything up to the 4 years has basically been completed or in the process, and now with the new funding of 260 money and the infrastructure money that's coming out, they'll reevaluate what's on the plan of the 10-year plan and then start reprioritizing some of the projects that are in there. Nothing new, no new added projects, but we'll start reprioritizing what's in there as far as the TPR. As far as the commission, gosh, land use seems to be the biggest thing that we're dealing with right now. And what do we do with some of the issues and how do we clean them up of some of the problems that we have that are being presented out there? Specifically, I'm speaking about the mill up in Dolores, Ironwood Mill. We have real concerns of what we have up there right now of the pile of not necessarily slash but chips that have been created and nothing is being done about them. And now our fear, specifically after that Aspen Wallwood fire, what happened here in Mancos, just a few weeks ago, what happened in Boulder, these piles need to be separated, monitored with probes for heat, to make sure that we don't have spontaneous combustion and then we actually have a wind-driven fire at the top of that hill, which could create a situation that Dolores definitely can't handle fire protection district and probably Montague County. So land use is a big deal as far as everything that's coming toward us. And then lastly, I know you're going to have to put up with Commissioner Lindsay and I. We at our last meeting Tuesday, we're going to tag team for Commissioner Stevenson. Hopefully in the short interim, 30, 60, or 90 days, and then we'll make long-range plans after that if need be. We got good news today. We did get a text from our administrator that came from basically his brother. He had a lot better day today. O2 sats are up, and so things are looking good. We're hopeful. We're praying, and like I said, you guys will have to put up with us for the next short period of time. So if you have any questions, obviously you can get them to Heather. Heather can get them to us or through our administrator or a phone call. Obviously, we're always available to you all.
We do appreciate you guys coming to our meetings. We've really enjoyed having Joel come, even good and bad. He's been here, and it means a lot to us to have our representative here. And so thank you guys for continuing to attend our meetings.
You bet. Any questions for us?
I have a question. The survey that the county put out and mostly about taxes. Did you ever compile your data from that?
We did. Magellan Strategies is who we hired to put together the surveys for us. We just had a meeting actually last week and went over this survey, and they had it listed as what the responses were, which is, I'm going to tell you what number 2 was, which we as a county have nothing to do with, and it's education. So some of the questions on there had something to do with education, and people rated that as number 2, which we as a county have absolutely nothing to do with education or funding of education. Mm-hmm. Ours specifically is roads. We own no facilities as far as water, sewer, power, anything like that. Not even telecommunication. It's all owned by private industry or Montezuma Water Company. or sanitation and water districts. So we did get it. If the vote, well, let me step back. So we are putting together now our group that we will start doing our outreach and our education. And then we'll go forward to be real specific of what we're going to spend the money on if we actually do put it on the ballot. So we have not actually made that determination yet. But it's looking like we probably will have to just due to the funding sources. I mean, Kinder Morgan in our area has significantly decreased, and I hope that they will come back, but there's nothing that says they will. But eventually, it's a finite resource, and it will go away. So we're just looking at a different way to get things done.
I remember Joel had mentioned probably 3-4 months ago about there being a person at the state coming here to talk to you guys about maybe putting some sort of logistics center or something in the area. There was some sort of grant that was given at the state level to help with like the after COVID kind of revitalization or coming back. Has there been any movement with that lately? Or?
So actually, that's going to be a better question for our administrator. He just actually presented today with, we both lost our grant writer, Sadie Cortez Stoller from both of us. They actually did a presentation today with the Ute tribe of the resiliency grant.
Yeah, the resiliency, that's
that we did receive. So she is working with our administrator trying to make sure that we get that out. And that's just getting things into the works. So I'm not real well versed on the resiliency grant unless Commissioner, you have anything else that you need to add? But again, I think Rachel's committed to helping us all. Obviously, it's all our community, we're all in the county, and whatever works good for the municipalities works good for the county. So not a great answer, but
no, it's fine.
That's all I have on that. We did have a good informational meeting today with the telecommunication people around here that are working in this area. Emory is working from the state line, Utah south, off of a USDA grant, bringing in broadband down 491. We obviously will be focusing on conduits if and when we get the Paso Mesa Bridge design, which ties closer to La Plata County, where Plata County Commission was there also today. So this is an unprecedented time as far as dollars for telecommunication. And if we can make this 160 corridor tied back, then we can get a great redundancy in this community. So it's going to be a lot of collaboration, coordination, and going to the State House to see what we can get as far as those funds. There's probably going to be close to, I think he said $1 billion. I don't have that in front of me here. That will be to the state of Colorado for broadband. So we'll be watching that closely also. Anything else?
Anybody else have any questions? Oh, yeah. Again, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Okay, next on the agenda is the letter of support for the Boys and Girls Club. Heather, do you want to?
Yes, Alex Bond is submitting a grant application, community revitalization grant application, and they require a letter of support from the municipal government. So he is looking at 102 West Grand Avenue. He's working with Jerry Krenjak. He has the lease. He submitted the business license application. The proposed use is allowed at that location, which is right downtown. Submitted a sign application. All of those are in compliance with town code. So he is asking for a letter of support from the board for his grant application. And so I don't see Alex. So I have drafted here for you. I also included his grant application so you could see exactly what he was looking to do. This is the first of two. I had somebody reach out today somebody else in the community is also considering applying for the same grant. It's one of the few grants that does allow nonprofits and business and municipal governments, we can all apply for the same grant. The town chose not to apply for this grant because we knew that there were members of the community. So I just need, if the board is so inclined, I just need the board to authorize me to submit this letter of support to Alex on behalf of the town.
Are we going to get a second request for support from the other?
Probably, yes. So we will probably draft a similar letter.
So, yeah, a letter of support is not, it's, we don't have to pick sides, is what I want to say. We could do two letters of support.
We can support them both, and it does not, the letter of support doesn't involve the town in any way, not contractually, not financially.
Okay, that's important.
So,
Go ahead, Cindy.
so I get that they're trying to be cute with the name, but it seems really sexist to me. And as one of the first girls in my school district in Michigan in the 70s that was able to take shop, it really hurt my heart to see that. And I know we don't have anything to do with the name of it, but I would really truly hope that they make it very clear that, hey, this isn't sexist, it's not just for men or boys. That really struck me hard.
I didn't know what a burls was. I had to look.
Well, at first I thought it was a typo.
I did
was like,
too.
no, wait,
And I thought,
burl.
what is a burl? And it's so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the title is a little iffy, but again, I know that's not in our whale here.
A couple questions that I have, and I should have got all of you on this earlier, and I didn't, but in the second paragraph, it says, as a town invested. In the second sentence, it says, specifically, the Boys and Girls Club plan to host multi-day woodworking retreats. The word "that" should be in there, that will draw visitors from near and far. And then in the third paragraph, should it be Gateway to Mesa Verde? Should that be capitalized?
Yeah.
And then down in the next paragraph, in addition to the increased economic vitality, the Boys and Girls Club is in a different font. Should that be the same font? I think if we're going to write letters, we ought to stay with the same font all the way through.
Okay.
Catching those, and I should have caught you earlier with that, so I'm sorry. Does anybody else have anything else? Okay, then I would entertain a motion.
Go ahead.
I move we approve the town administrator to send the attached letter of support to Alex Bond for his grant application to the Colorado Community Revitalization Program to establish the Boys and Girls Club.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Brent McWhirter and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to approve the town administrator to send this letter of support to Alex Bond to support his grant application for the Boys and Girls Club. Jamie, would you call the vote, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Brent McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. And so moving right along again, we have the 2022 municipal election IGA. Heather?
Yes, this is the same IGA that we use each election to coordinate with the county. Our Montezuma County clerk is amazing. And this IGA allows us to work with her, and she will hire and train all of our judges. She'll provide their food, she'll print our ballots for us. They will even mail out our ballots for us. So, and then when they come back, we will take them to Montezuma County, And all of this has protocols. This is a very simple explanation to you all. But we will then take those to Montezuma County and they will use their machines and their judges to count, tabulate. And then they will also canvass at the end of this for us. So we have done this every year, or every election since 2010, I believe. Just because the town of Mancos doesn't have machines. So Kim, the Montezuma County Clerk, really is amazing working with us. The IGA, David did review it, he had some suggestions. The county attorney reviewed it, he had some suggestions. We all finally came to agreement. So this is what Mancos will be, if the board approves it, this is what we will execute for this April 5th, 2022 election. And I believe it's the same form for Cortez and Dolores. We try very hard as a county to make sure every election, as much as possible, is run the same way to allow all of our citizens, so they're not confused. Whether it's a general election, municipal election, special election, we try to keep all of our forms the same, whether they need to make us or Cortez or Dolores, just to make it easier for them. Elections sometimes can be confusing. So we want to make it as easy as possible for our citizens to vote. So.
Anybody have any questions? And I would entertain a motion.
I move we authorize the town administrator to execute the intergovernmental agreement with Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder to coordinate the 2022 municipal election with the town of Mancos.
Second.
Here we have a motion by trustee Cindy Simpson and a second by trustee Ed Hallen to authorize the town administrator to execute the intergovernmental agreement with Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder to coordinate the 2022 municipal election with the town of Mancos. Jamie, would you call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Brent McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Holland.
Aye.
Trustee Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along, we have Resolution 5, Series 2022, of temporarily lifting the burn ban. Heather.
Resolution, so I'm going to introduce it, but if you have any questions, Justin worked really closely on this. This was at his request. So the board instituted a permanent burn ban by ordinance.
Right.
So nobody can burn anything in town unless it's a charcoal grill or a fire pit, but unless the board lifts the burn ban temporarily by resolution. So the marshal's office, maybe Public Works, were thinking that during the winter, when there's snow on the ground and everything is damp, we can temporarily lift the ban to allow citizens to burn yard waste, because in the summer we offer that free yard waste off. So this will help with property cleanup, code compliance, and that type of thing. That's the simple explanation. So if anybody has any questions, and this is the first time we have ever contemplated temporarily lifting a burn ban. So I did send this to David for his review. Technically, I guess they don't have to review resolutions, but because this is our first one, I did send it to him and ask him to review it. So I don't know if David has any comment.
David, do you have any comments regarding the resolution on the burn ban?
It's got to unmute.
No, Mayor. I looked through it. Looked okay to me.
Okay, thank you. Justin, do you have anything you want to add?
Do we still have to go through a permitting process, or is it just you can burn your yard waste?
No, just keep it simple. We'll just do what the county does. I haven't called dispatch.
I was going to say notification through
Yeah,
dispatch.
notification through dispatch.
Makes sense.
I talked to the Mancos Fire Protection District. Our idea is, since we're having snowfall this year compared to where we were last year, granted, we still need more, but let's get ahead of our fire mitigation in town. I still have a huge concern about the Mancos River. If we ever got a fire run on the river, it's gonna burn the middle of town before we can do anything with it. So if this is essentially sweat equity for our residents, it's not gonna cost them anything. We don't have to wait until the first yard waste to get stuff cleaned up. we can get the town mitigated for fire now, why not?
So you're behind this, you think this is a good idea?
And this was another 2 a.m. thought that I normally come up with and bring you.
2 a.m.
So like, there's no rules about windy days or?
There is, but that's where,
It's in the-
very well.
Okay, all right, I must have missed it.
Yeah, if you call dispatch on a windy day, they say, no, you can't do it.
Okay, so it isn't just notifying them, you have
No,
to actually get them to say
They have to
yes.
say yes.
They'll say it was red line.
fires.
So they have to call it into Cortez Dispatch according to the resolution. Citizens must call it into Cortez Dispatch, and we put the number in the resolution because we're going to post this on our website. It has to be actively monitored and attended at all times by a person during their use until fire embers and coals
Yeah.
are entirely extinguished. The ban on open fires is reinstituted immediately if there's a red flag warning issued or if Montezuma County fire ban is instituted. And it will, this resolution, the ban on open fires will automatically resume on April 1, 2022 unless we take further action. Those are the requirements or conditions that are required if a citizen wants to burn roadways.
What if we don't have snow the whole time? That worries me. I mean,
We can always revisit this.
Northeast Colorado just got the heck burned out of it.
And then it snowed.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it snowed, like, you know, so I get it, and I understand the need for it, but I'm a little worried about March 1, or, end of March. I'm just,
I think we have to watch our southern winds. April is generally when historically we start getting more of that dry southern wind coming up.
yeah,
But I think it's open to the board, and if the board sees that the forecast isn't favorable, we can obviously readdress this and pull it.
would we need to add something to item 3? Because that only gives 2 instances of where we're gonna reinstate.
No, the board can always revisit this issue. And our code actually allows the marshal to make a decision whether lift or not lift, to lift or reinstitute. And then it is ratified by the board by resolution at the next meeting.
Okay.
So to reinstitute a burn ban, our code does allow
Okay.
either you or the marshal, or the town administrator in the absence of the marshal. So if we see something going sideways and it's 2 weeks till our next meeting, Justin can make a decision and it will be ratified by you all at the next meeting via resolution.
Okay. Kind of like the water.
Mhm.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can I would entertain a motion?
I move we approve Resolution 5, Series 2022, a resolution temporarily lifting the ban on open fires within town of Mancos limits to and through March 31st, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Brett McWhirter and a second by trustee Ed Hallen to approve resolution 5, series 2022, a resolution temporarily lifting the ban on open fires within the town of Mancos limits to and through March 31st, 2022. Jamie, would you call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Greg Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Brett McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Steve Simpson.
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. With, moving right along, then we have ordinance 767, series 2022, marijuana business license change of ownership. Heather.
Yes, we generally follow the state of Colorado guidelines with some tweaks for Vegas, but with regard to both marijuana and liquor licensing. And the state of Colorado has changed their residency rules, their ownership residency rules. So this ordinance is just updating our code with regard to ownership of marijuana businesses. Our code right now requires that all owners live in Colorado for a minimum of 2 years. The state requires that one owner live in Colorado for.
1 year. 1 year.
Yes, so we're just changing this to the state, to mirror the state language.
So they're laxing their rule.
A little bit, yes.
God, I'm surprised they wouldn't be tightening it.
And it's, I mean, yeah, so we're just mirroring their, because right now we mirror their ownership, they changed it, we're just changing it to mirror their ownership as well.
But if we choose to leave it as we have it, the 2 years, it's not going to affect the state or legality, correct?
No, it may affect existing licenses though, when they go in,
Well,
because when the state changes and we change. If the state
it's going to
changes
lax
and
it though, but I'm saying if we wanted to stay, we're saying right now they have to live here for 2 years and all owners do. And if the state says only 1 for 1, that's laxing the rules that are existent. But if we wanted to say, no, we're comfortable with what we have now.
then when our current licensed people go to renew or try to sell.
They may not be able to renew it.
They may not be able to sell their business or renew their license.
But we're requiring it right now.
Correct.
So they have to meet that obligation.
Right, but
I'm just
3
saying-
years from now,
Right.
people have only lived here 1 year, they won't be able to.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking we have a current business that's in negotiation to change ownership based on state law. So we would be required to tell them no. Maybe the state would allow it, maybe it's would not allow it. And you have that authority, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying, if we don't match the state, we will potentially lose some of our businesses. And that's completely up to you guys, it's not, you can do whatever you want, you have that authority.
Well, I feel like, I wasn't on the board when it all started and marijuana became legal to sell, in the state as well as in the town. But I have kind of, felt a certain comfort level knowing that we were mirroring the state and trying to be as fair as possible in terms of marijuana versus liquor and, kind of treating them the same because they're both substances. So I would support mirroring the state.
Denise?
I hear Ed's point, and yeah, but I also think along with Cindy's thinking that I think we should mirror the state, especially if it's going to be a difference of, I think we do maybe locally right now somebody might be selling the business and it might make a big difference. So I'm in favor of mirroring with the state marijuana businesses. So.
Rick?
I agree. I think we should stay with what the state is doing.
Rick?
Make it easy.
Yeah, I think we should stay with what the state wants to do. I would really hate to see an existing business not be able to be sold, not be able to pass on.
And in particular, we not have problems. So, it's one of those things, the state's making it obviously with reason, but, like I said, my question was only, as discussionary as, do we need to or not? But I have to agree. The state sets their statutes, or their rules. So, I don't see a problem whatsoever with following their lead.
Okay. All right, then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 767, series 2022, an ordinance making certain amendments to the town of Mancos municipal code concerning ownership of retail marijuana business within the town of Mancos.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by trustee Brett McWhirter to approve ordinance 767, series 2022, an ordinance making certain amendments to the town of Mancos municipal code concerning ownership of retail marijuana businesses within the town of Mancos. Jamie, would you call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Brett McWhirter.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along, then we have Item number K, which is items for the January 26, 2022 agenda. We will have the proclamation discussion during our workshop. We have Ordinance 768, Series 2022, extending the moratorium on short-term rentals, and the 2021 final work plan and financial update. And Heather, you have something else?
I am trying to pull it together to get a fiber infrastructure grant application to you all for extending running our fiber from here to the top of the hill and putting in the tower and stuff. It's grant applications. So I will have at least a rough draft of an application to you all for that meeting. And then I will also get together with Rachel and Chuck and bring you guys that resiliency grant project. Even if it's just an FYI in the board packet. So I'll bring that to you guys as well.
Cool.
And then whatever else comes up between now and then.
Anybody else have anything else that they want to add to? Okay, next on the agenda is adjournment, and I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
So to see how my hand came out? Remember when I showed you pictures?